I never thought I'd be that guy, the one who finds out his wife has been cheating on him with his own brother, especially during what was supposed to be a family holiday. Honestly, I'd always believed I had a pretty solid marriage with Emily. We'd been together for 8 years, married for 5. Yeah, we had our ups and downs, but I thought we were solid. She was my best friend, my partner in crime, and I honestly thought we trusted each other completely. The holiday was supposed to be a nice break, a few days away with the family on this lake house my parents rented every summer. It was supposed to be relaxing, full of barbecues, boat rides, and lazy mornings. But even before we left, I started noticing small things. Emily's phone kept buzzing in her purse. She'd hide her screen whenever I looked over, and I caught her in little lies about where she was or who she was talking to. I brushed it off at first, telling myself I was just paranoid or maybe being overly suspicious. But I couldn't shake this feeling that something was off. Then came the night that changed everything. We were all sitting around the fire pit, laughing and drinking, and Emily got up to go inside for a minute. As she did, I noticed her phone was still on the table. Curiosity got the better of me, and I glanced at her screen. It was unlocked. I don't usually do that, but something about her behavior that night pushed me to look. What I saw made my stomach drop. There were flirty messages, suggestive texts, and a bunch of things that made it clear she'd been cheating on me with my brother, no less. I couldn't believe it at first. My mind refused to process what I was seeing. I stared at the screen, reading their conversations about secret meetups, hidden kisses, and plans to see each other again soon. The worst part, she was pregnant. I found out later that she was actually pregnant with my brother's child. While I was out here thinking she was just tired or stressed, she was lying to me, pretending everything was fine at home, and actively betraying me behind my back. And the part that tore me apart was that she had lied about being pregnant. She'd convinced me she was trying for a baby, that she wanted us to start a family. I knew I had to confront her. The moment I saw that message, everything else faded into the background. My hands trembled as I stared at the screen, trying to process what I just learned. I felt this cold, burning rage bubbling up inside me, but also this gnawing sadness that I'd been so blind, so naive. I waited until she came back outside, and when she sat next to me, I couldn't hold back anymore. I showed her the messages, and her face twisted into this fake bitchy mask, like she thought she could lie her way out of it. She looked at me with those big fake eyes and started spinning her usual bullshit. "It's not what it looks like," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "You're overreacting as usual. It's just sex, it doesn't mean anything. You're so insecure, always accusing me of stuff. You're just jealous because I still look good and I have a life outside of you." She was so full of herself, acting like I was the crazy one, like this was some huge misunderstanding. But I wasn't buying it. Not anymore. I saw through her. I saw the truth that she'd been hiding for months, and it hit me hard. I'd married a liar, a cheat, and a bitch. After that night, everything changed. The next morning, I couldn't look at Emily the same way. Her face was still the same smug, bitchy expression she always used when she thought she was right, but I saw through her now. I saw the lies, the manipulations, and the kind of person she really was. Honestly, I felt like I'd been punched in the gut, but also like I'd finally woken up from this long, terrible dream. The thing is, she kept lying, spinning her stories, trying to convince me that it was just sex, that there was nothing serious. She even went as far as to say it was just a mistake, that she didn't mean for any of this to happen. She said she was stressed, confused, and that she loved me but couldn't help herself. Can you believe that? She had the audacity to act like this was some innocent mistake, like she was the victim here. Meanwhile, she was pregnant with my brother's child, for crying out loud. That's not a mistake, that's outright betrayal. I was furious, but I also felt this deep sadness. I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that she'd been lying to me all this time, pretending everything was perfect at home while she was sneaking around behind my back. She had this way of twisting everything, making me doubt myself. She called me paranoid, jealous, and insecure, trying to turn the tables and make me feel crazy for questioning her. But I knew better now. I knew she'd been lying this whole time. The woman I married was gone. I decided I couldn't just brush this off. I needed some time to think, to process what was happening. So I packed a bag, told her I was going to stay at a friend's place, and I left that day. The house felt colder without her in it. I stayed at a hotel nearby, trying to piece everything together. How had she been able to lie so convincingly? How had she managed to hide this secret for so long? The thought that she was pregnant with my brother's child, and that I'd been a fool thinking we were happy, it tore me apart. I kept replaying everything in my head, and the more I thought about it, the angrier I got. Not just at her, but at myself for not seeing it sooner. I was supposed to be her husband, her partner, her best friend. Instead, I found out she'd been sneaking around, lying, and now I was left with this mess. I remembered all those moments where I felt something was off but dismissed it because I loved her, because I trusted her. And now I see how naive I was. She was a bitchy, manipulative liar, pretending to be everything I thought she was, but she was just a wolf in sheep's clothing. That night, I just sat in the hotel room, staring at the ceiling, feeling numb. Part of me wanted to pack my bags and walk away forever, but another part of me was too broken to even move. The only thing I knew for sure was that I was done trusting her, and I needed to figure out what to do next. I was hurt, angry, and betrayed, but I also knew that I had to be strong. No matter what, I wasn't going to let her keep hurting me, not anymore. Over the next few days, I didn't sleep much. My mind kept spinning with all the details, the lies, the betrayals. I kept asking myself how I missed all the signs, how I could have been so blind. She had played me so well, pretending to be this perfect wife, this loving mother-to-be, while secretly sneaking around with my brother. The thought that she was pregnant with his child made me feel physically sick. I kept wondering how long she'd been lying, if she'd been cheating on me before she even got pregnant. I also couldn't shake the anger. It wasn't just about the affair. It was about the fact that she had lied about everything. Her constant bitchy attitude, her excuses, her manipulative ways, it all made sense now. She had always been good at hiding her true colors, and I was stupid enough to trust her. Now I saw her for what she truly was, a bitchy, selfish woman who thought she could get away with anything. One night I decided I had to confront her again. I called her, told her I was coming back home and that I wanted answers. When I arrived, she was still acting like everything was normal, like she hadn't just been caught in a lie. She kept trying to deny it, saying I was overreacting, that I was paranoid, that she loved me and would never do something to hurt me. But I wasn't buying her bullshit anymore. I told her I knew about the affair, about her pregnancy with my brother's kid, and that I wasn't going to pretend everything was okay. Her reaction was infuriating. She rolled her eyes, crossed her arms, and said, "Oh, so now you're the victim. Please. You're just jealous because I look good and I still have a life outside of your boring ass." That was her go-to: blame me, make me feel crazy, make me doubt myself. But I saw through her. I saw her for what she was, a manipulative, bitchy liar who thought she could get away with anything. The fact that she was pregnant with my brother's child just made me want to scream. How could she be so cold, so callous? I told her I was done. Done with her lies, done with her manipulations. I told her I was leaving and that I wanted a divorce. She looked at me with that fake, bitchy smile like I was the one overreacting. She kept insisting that I was being unfair, that I was making a huge deal out of nothing, that she still loved me, that she was sorry, and that she'd end everything if I just stayed. But I knew this was her classic game, trying to guilt me, trying to make me doubt myself. That night I packed a bag again and left. I couldn't stay under the same roof with her. The betrayal ran too deep. As I drove away, I felt a mix of relief and heartbreak. Relief because I finally saw her for what she was, and heartbreak because I loved her, or at least I thought I did. The trust was shattered, and I knew nothing would ever be the same. I was done pretending everything was okay. I knew I had to get out of this toxic situation and start healing, even if it meant starting over alone. The days that followed were the hardest of my life. I stayed away from the house, avoiding her calls and texts, trying to process everything. I kept asking myself how I could have been so blind, so naive. I was furious at her, at my brother, and even at myself for not seeing the signs earlier. But mostly I was devastated. The woman I'd trusted with my life had been lying to me for months, maybe longer. She was pregnant with my brother's kid while pretending everything was fine at home. How could someone be so manipulative, so selfish? Meanwhile, Emily was relentless. She kept trying to contact me, sending those fake bitchy messages, insisting she was sorry, claiming it was all a mistake, that she loved me and begging me to come back. She spun the same stories over and over, trying to guilt me into forgiving her. She even had the nerve to say she was confused, that she didn't mean for any of this to happen, and that she'd fix everything if I just gave her another chance. I saw right through her. Her words were empty, her tears fake, and her tone bitchy. She thought she could manipulate her way out of this mess, but I wasn't falling for it anymore. I started talking to a lawyer about divorce. I wanted out completely, cut her out of my life and start fresh. Honestly, I'm still trying to come to terms with what happened, but I know I can't stay in that toxic situation. I have no idea what her plans are now, but I don't care. The fact that she's pregnant with my brother's kid makes it complicated, but I've decided I won't be part of that chaos. I don't want anything to do with her or her bullshit anymore. The emotional toll has been brutal. I go from feeling angry to devastated to numb. Some nights I can't sleep because I keep replaying everything, wondering how I missed all the signs. I keep asking myself how I could have loved someone so manipulative, so bitchy, who'd betray me so thoroughly. I trusted her with my life, and now I feel like I've lost everything. The house, the life I thought we had, maybe even my brother's relationship with me, all gone in one terrible moment. But I also know I have to move forward. I can't let her poison my mind forever. I've started therapy, trying to work through the pain and betrayal, and I've been leaning on friends who are shocked but supportive. They tell me I deserve better, that I shouldn't settle for someone like her. Still, part of me keeps asking what's next. How do I rebuild from this? How do I trust again after being so thoroughly betrayed? It's a long road ahead, and honestly, I'm scared. But I know I can't stay stuck in this heartbreak. I have to find a way to heal and move on, no matter how much it hurts right now. After a couple of weeks of this madness, I finally made my decision. I sat down with a lawyer and officially filed for divorce. I couldn't keep living in this toxic situation, watching her try to lie her way out of everything, pretending she was innocent when she knew exactly what she did. I refused to be her pawn anymore. Honestly, part of me still hurts, still feels betrayed, but I knew I had to put an end to it for my sanity. The hardest part was dealing with the fallout. Emily, of course, started with the usual bitchy attitude. She accused me of overreacting, called me paranoid, said I was making everything about me. She even tried to guilt-trip me, saying I was ruining her life and that I was abandoning her and the unborn child. It was classic Emily, all manipulation, all the time. She kept insisting she loved me, that she was sorry but that she needed her space, that she was confused and hurt too. I couldn't stand her fake tears anymore. I saw through her, and I knew that her tears were just another way to make me feel guilty and stay. Meanwhile, I was trying to hold myself together. I reached out to friends, told them everything, and got a lot of support. A few said I was brave for leaving, that I deserved better than a wife who would cheat and lie, especially with my own brother. I guess I needed that reassurance that I was doing the right thing. Because deep down, part of me still loved her. That's the hardest thing to admit. But I realized love doesn't mean allowing yourself to be used, lied to, or betrayed. The legal process has been draining but necessary. I want this over with as quickly as possible so I can start healing. I'm not sure what the future holds, especially with her pregnancy and everything that's happened, but I do know one thing. I won't be a victim of her manipulations anymore. I'll get through this, even if it's one day at a time. I've learned a lot about trust, deception, and how people can be so cold and calculating when they think they can get away with it. I want to rebuild my life, find someone who respects me, and never let someone like Emily manipulate me again. All I can say is, if you're reading this and you're in a similar situation, trust your gut. Don't ignore those little signs of bullshit, because they usually turn into something much worse. And never stay in a toxic relationship just because you're afraid of being alone. It's better to be alone than to be with someone who's constantly lying and cheating. I'm still hurting, but I know I'll come out of this stronger. And maybe someday I'll find real happiness again. Looking back now, I realize that this whole nightmare has been a brutal lesson in trust and self-respect. I never thought someone I loved could turn out to be so manipulative, so selfish, and so damn good at hiding who she really was. The betrayal cut deep, but it also opened my eyes to the kind of person Emily truly is. She's a bitchy, selfish woman who thought she could get away with anything, and for a while she did. But I refuse to let her define me or destroy what's left of my life. The hardest part is accepting that everything I believed in was a lie. I loved her, I truly did. But love isn't enough when someone is willing to lie, cheat, and betray you without remorse. Her pregnancy with my brother's kid, that's the biggest blow. It's a betrayal I'll carry with me forever, but I've decided I won't let it consume me. I will heal, I will move on, and I will rebuild my life without her. No matter how much it hurts right now, I know I'm better off without her keeping me in this toxic, fake relationship. I've since focused on myself, therapy to work through the pain, surrounding myself with friends who genuinely care, and trying to find some semblance of peace. I've learned that I deserve honesty, respect, and someone who won't lie to my face or manipulate me. That's what I want now, a real relationship built on trust and mutual respect. And I'll never forget what I've been through because it's made me stronger. It's a painful lesson, but a necessary one. To anyone out there going through something similar, hear this. Don't ignore your instincts. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. And never stay in a toxic relationship just because you're afraid to be alone. Being single is better than being with someone who poisons your mind and destroys your self-worth. You deserve better. As for me, I'm taking it one day at a time. I don't know what the future holds, but I know I'll be okay. I'll find happiness again, and I'll do it without someone like Emily in my life. Because in the end, the most important thing is to remember your own worth and never settle for less than what you deserve.